Today's episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by Be Positive Productions and Multimedia Studios, LLC. I like to think of imagination as something akin to a superpower. Used in the right context for good, it can help bolster our aspirations and propel us closer to our goals. We visualize the outcome of our accomplishments and work toward attaining said thing. However, when used to propagate untruths, reality can become distorted. We no longer know what's real and what's not. The more often we repeat something to ourselves, the more likely it is to become our truth, and the lines between perception and reality begin to blur. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
This is Glenn Warren, founder and executive director of Fathers Forever. I want to share an alarming reality with you. 627,000 fathers are incarcerated that have kids under 18. Now, there's 56,000 moms incarcerated who have kids under 18. The reality is there are so many more fathers incarcerated than moms. This is why I Am a Father Forever book exists. Now, I need your help. I am inviting you to help us get this book into as many fathers incarcerated as possible. Here's how it works. For your donation of $22, we will provide a book to an incarcerated father. Thank you in advance for helping Fathers Forever heal fathers and save families.
And action.
I wanted to say that.
Okay. Well, it is Thursday, James.
It's Thursday once again. Thursdays are always, it's something final about Thursdays. You know, it's almost like, okay, we're right here at the end of the week, and I'm like, okay, where did the other days go?
I know, right?
It's just a busy week.
Yes.
But it's good to be here.
It's a exciting time for us because we always get to sit down and talk to our audience about what we're doing and referring to that. Without the streams.
Absolutely. But we want to welcome all of our viewers, especially those on Facebook and YouTube. But if you're on Facebook, if you would take a moment and do something for us, it won't cost you a penny. If you could like our page, if you could focus on leaving comments, and also if you could follow us,
we love it.
And last but least, if you could leave a comment, we welcome your comments, and we want you to be a part of us. And if you're connecting with us via your comments, we appreciate it. The second thing is for our YouTube subscribers. And if you are a YouTube subscriber, please hit that subscription button, I think, and click the little bell, and also share this broadcast with your friends. As well, you can leave comments too. We certainly want to hear from our viewers. And, you all are considered friends of ours now. So let's make it work.
Yes.
So, Dr. Warren,
Yes, sir.
I don't believe in Santa anymore, but Santa was always in that shop working on stuff and making things happen. So I'm not gonna call you Santa, but I know you've been working on some things.
Oh, because
why don't you
look like Santa Claus with a great beard?
No, not quite that. It's the concept, I think. So why don't you tell us what you've been working on lately?
Well, James, a few years ago, I had an idea about this particular thing, and I just kind of the timing wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it a few months ago, and I finally decided this is the time of life. Okay. And I decided to, I think it was in February, March, I really started seriously waking it up. And when I wake up with stuff on my mind, when it stays on my mind a lot, it's time for me to act on it. Okay. And so this particular project, been on my mind quite some time in February and March. So I called a friend of mine and kind of ran it by him. And I called a couple of friends of mine, and this is something that I've been wanting to do. Okay. And what it is called it's called Authentic Fatherhood Summit. Okay. Which I want to start partnership with churches. And right now, we're dealing with child support court. We're dealing with a lot of agencies within the court system. Right. And now I want to take it to the church as well. I want to take it to the men, because there's a lot of men that really need fatherhood. So I think going to churches and getting the churches to invite their neighborhoods and the people in their congregation, as well as people in their neighborhood, in their communities, to start doing some what we call authentic fatherhood summits. Great, I like that. And it's going to be like 4.5 hours long. That'll be a long one. We're going to have the first one. It's going to be hosted in Hope Mills, and by church. By church, I go to Pastor Ricky and Dr. Brenda Harrell is the pastor of Christ Worship Center in Hope Mills, North Carolina. All right. I've been a member of the church for the last 10 years, I think it was. Me and Pastor Harrell grew up, went to college together, along with Dr. Brenda. We all went to college together, and we kind of went different ways. And as we grew up and got out of college. And so, but we kind of joined back together about 10 years ago. Okay. And he's been my overseer, my pastor for the last 10 years. And he's been supporting Father forever. We've had 18 graduations. He's been to all 18. Wow. Yeah, so he's been very supportive and Father forever and what we're doing. They pray for us on numerous occasions. And they support us financially, even now. So I only felt fitting for us to do the first one at his church. Great. I called him, had an idea, and he loved it. And so the first one is set for October the 28th from 11:30 to 4:30 p.m. Sounds good. Yes, we're going to start out with a little bit of breakfast not breakfast, but lunch, fellowship, social hour. Then we're going to get into some workshops. We're going to get into a couple of, I love round tables. So we're going to be doing a round table about fatherhood. And then we're going to have a couple more workshops, and then we'll do a benediction. Everybody that's could come, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to get a free book. And then we're going to not only just do summits, James, but we're doing this with the intention of going to that neighborhood and possibly starting a fatherhood program. Absolutely. That sounds great. It sounds fantastic. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So hopefully, you never know what may come out of this. We end up starting the fatherhood program down in Hope Mills in the Hope Mills area. Sounds great. I can't wait for it to come to Raleigh. Yes, I am excited about it. So we're going to start planning for the next one, start looking for a location, and we're going to start planning that. So that is our partnership with churches, and I can put this out there right now. If you'd love to be a host pastor, call our Facebook, we go to our website, send us an email, and we'll sit down and start talking. We want to, get kind of 3 months out before we start talk about it and start planning. Our goal is to have one of these authentic fatherhood summits every month. It's to also build a community. And build a community up with churches, as well as getting churches inviting fathers in their community that they know may be struggling, single fathers, single moms, single guys that divorcees. We really want to touch that audience as well. Sure. So I'm really excited about our first authentic fatherhood summit hosted in Hope Mills, North Carolina, at Christ Worship Center October 28th from 11:30 to 4:30.
Sounds great.
Yes.
So what do you have for us today?
Today I'm going to talk to Mr. James Johnson about the local reentry partner. This is one of our partners, and he's gonna come in and talk about what the LLC is and local reentry. And as soon as this commercial break, we'll be back with James Johnson. So, welcome again back to our studio. We have Mr. James Johnston from the Local Reentry Council, and that's one of our local partners that we work with and have been working with for a number of years now. So we invited Mr. James to come in and tell us a little bit about what LRC is, the Local Reentry Council, and what they do in the community. They do some amazing work. So first of all, before we get into that, James, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is James Johnson?
Wow. James Johnson. I grew up in Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
New York. Yes. Grew up in Brownsville.
Okay.
Very high crime area.
Really?
Mike Tyson from Brownsville.
Oh, wow.
And,
Did you know him? Did you get to meet him?
I knew him. You know, he was a little younger than I am, but
Wow.
he was one of the kids you didn't
You
hang around.
You did.
You didn't hang around. My father passed early when I was 7. That's why I love what you're doing. He was a great man. He died from kidney failure, but I was looking to see parts of different men to kind of create a picture of what men's supposed to be.
Did you get that?
Yeah, from different people.
No, really, like who was some people that came?
My uncle. My father needed a kidney, so my uncle gave him his kidney, so that taught me sacrifice.
Wow.
And I remember I came down. Now, he was raised down in Wallace Rose Hill area of North Carolina.
Really?
And my uncle, after he passed, my uncle took me to a fishing pond. And it was by this old white man. And the old white man was about to count up how much we were going to have to pay him. So my uncle looked down at me and said, "You know who this is?" "No, who is that?" He said, "That's AC, my father's nickname. That's AC, son." He said, "Man, your money's no good here." And that taught me that there's something your character can open doors for you that money can't open. And I've always strived to be a good man, and even though I didn't see it. So
let me come over here. I'm curious about this because I know there's a lot of people who go without fathers, and we're gonna get to our. But I know that there is, and not because the father walked away. But sometimes there's a death in the family, whatever it happens to be, and so you said your uncle,
well, if I can digress a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember about 6 years old, I saw my mother and father playing, and they was enjoying each other, and I decided then I wanted to be a father.
Wow.
At 6 years old. But I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know what it took to be a father.
Right.
So even when I got into my 30s, I thought that if there was an argument between me and the girl I was dating, she wasn't the one, because I didn't see anybody talk through an argument.
Wow.
It was like seeing you have puzzle pieces, but you don't have the box.
Yeah, to go back.
You don't have the box. So, and surprisingly enough, it was Bill Cosby.
Really?
When I saw the Bill Cosby show, I saw how you could be playful and still disciplined.
Wow.
I saw how you can discipline and not be angry.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that was huge for me. And I had aunts and uncles, they're loving aunts and uncles, but I didn't see them argue. I didn't see how you work through that. So I had to build that myself. Actually, my wife is the one. Now, she had a loving father. He recently passed, but I had to depend on her to show me what a man was supposed to be like. So I had to be vulnerable, but I had to trust her to not take advantage of my vulnerability.
Wow. How long y'all been married?
30 years.
Congratulations.
30 years. And,
wow.
and you probably edited this out, but you know what? I met her at the precinct. That's another thing. I became a cop. I was a cop, NYPD, first responder 9/11. I'm proud to say that. But I remember when we met at the precinct. She was a prisoner. She was a police aide. So So
I want to get that straight.
I want to get that straight. I meet her in cuffs, you know.
Right.
Later on she cuffed me. You know,
Okay.
and I'm happy 30 years later.
Wow.
But I remember I decided to get married. You know, it's something you told me before. Like chickens, they lay their eggs, and then when they're ready for to have chicklets,
chickens, right.
they go and hide.
They go off to, yeah.
I made a decision I wanted to get married. It was it. But I didn't know she was the one because. So I began asking God. I started pushing away from her, asking God, "Oh, show me the woman, show me the woman." A year later, 4 years later, we wound up married. I said, "How did this happen, God?" He said, "Remember, because you said a man's supposed to choose, but he said when you said find a woman, you gave me permission." Wow. So I chose somebody to where I was going, not to where I was, because in the mentality I was then, I would have had a woman who was sort of like coming back to America, about like a dog. That would have been that would have been who I would have chose.
So,
but she's a proven. She's a woman. I didn't know she could cook. She's a great mother. She's like a missionary. She always helped people. So I had to grow into her, which means that I had to submit a lot of who I was. But and then I had to be okay with that. Wow. So now, like I said, 30 years later, and it's getting better and better and better.
Man, that's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. Wow. I love it. And again, I wanted you to kind of elaborate on that. I didn't know the end of it.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be good, whatever it was.
Oh.
But I want you to elaborate because I know there is a lot of men, little guys that come up without the father.
Yeah.
No fault of their own. But again, your father passed away. Mm-hmm. But the other people in the community, you learn from them, and so that's powerful, man. So now I guess we can get to the meat. But that was really good. Go ahead.
What I see as I work with men, I see men would rather leave home than to fail in front of their children.
Wow.
Because when you come to a point when, and then I see there's not an understanding. Mm-hmm. We don't understand women because we're not really committed to commit ourselves. We don't commit ourselves to women. Well, a lot of men don't commit themselves to women. They just commit to be with them while they're going through. Right. So for even communication, women thinking ahead. So they're nurturers. Right. And I know the Bible says, women are weaker, but what it's really saying is that they're nurturers. So they hold on, they're created to hold on to things. Right. And so he said, husband, love your wife. So don't tease them for the way I made them. Right. So they can nurture a baby to an adult. Right. They can nurture an idea to a business. Yeah. So when they see a man, they say, I can see what I can make him. Right. But then the man calls it nagging. Right. But they also, when they become scorned or hurt, they can nurture a story to gossip. Yeah. They can nurture
because that's the festers.
Yes, they're festers. Yes. So, but if we know that, it took years. With me and my wife, I started noticing the differences, but I didn't know to do the differences. But judge up by, I would come home, put my uniform down. I would say to myself, I bet she's gonna say something. After all I did, I was like, see, all I did was prove that she's different. Anyway,
that's another whole conversation.
Yeah, it's a whole other.
No. We're gonna have about relationships between men. Because I think we are more alike than we are different. Yeah. We are different, no question about it, but we are alike too. Mm-hmm. And we have to explore those things. Yeah. So quiet. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your professional resume. It's very impressive. I was just kind of thinking about some things you told me that you've done. But tell us a little bit about how did you get to where you are in your career now?
Well, the bottom line, I'll start with the bottom line. It's God.
Yes.
Just submit it and let God take me to where you want to take me. Mm-hmm. I became a cop, and not because I wanted to enforce the law. I just wanted to see what they saw. Wow. And I became a cop, and then
how long were you a cop?
20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, I know it sounds like a lot.
NYPD?
Yeah, NYPD. Well, but now from 87 to 91, I was an undercover narcotics officer.
Okay.
So, oh man, yeah. So that was a whole other.
That was a dangerous world.
Dangerous world. It was. Yeah, things would grow. Then when the gangs came in, the Bloods and Crips specifically, I started a youth program. And there's an interesting story. I never interacted with kids other than people I know. But I remember standing at roll call and the captain was saying that we was losing a child a week to gang violence. They were getting killed, stabbed. And there was no solution. And I'm standing there and this compassion fell on me. And that's why I learned that when God's ready for you to do something for him, he'll loan you his compassion.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And now you haven't done it before, so you just left with compassion. So now you have the compassion, but then as you hold on to it, it becomes passion. That means that energy now. So you got the feeling, now you got the energy. Well, you can do one or two things. You can take that passion and complain about it, and now you create a circle where people complain. But or you can start walking, you get away from that circle, start walking, and as you start walking, God start putting steps there, and you become the catalyst. Because they were telling me that children won't come, it won't work. I just had to do like this, and I started a youth program. Well, and within a year, it became the largest police-sponsored youth program in New York City. Our gang violence was down 62%. I became the go-to. So I was teaching other officers. I was doing lectures at Fordham University, teaching social workers about young people, why they join gangs, how to get them out of gangs. I wrote 3 books on it, so, but it wasn't because of me, it's because I submitted to him. Right. Because whenever you're going to do something for God, you have to submit to him because you can't do it by yourself. If you knew where God was taking you before you're ready to go, you try to go on your own.
That's what I know.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so I know I'm taking the whole.
No. That's good. That's good to what we to how to get to where we are now with your professional life. So how did you get down to North Carolina from New York?
I would say minivan, but it was a little deeper than that. So, people would start to recognize me, outside of my uniform as a undercover. And my wife and I, we had 2 daughters, and we didn't want them to grow up in the hustle and bustle of New York. Yeah. So. And my family originated from, actually, I'll tell you something interesting. My father was one of 11, and they were farmers, Wallace Rosehill. And the boys migrated and to New York and Connecticut, and their plan was to move the family back. So, of course, as I said, he passed, but I made his dream come true because I moved our family back. And that's why I know that children, there's no coincidence that they have our same talents and may look like us because they can carry our morality, our resources, and our vision to the next generation. But that's why it's so important for fathers to do together. Yeah.
So where your mom at?
She just passed in 2019. Oh, well. But she was a great mom. She was also from Wallace.
Okay. Cool. So you come back to North Carolina, and what happened when you got back to North Carolina?
Well, I thought I was going to hang up my gun belt, get a fishing pole, and start fishing.
So you retired?
I was retired. And I went to a workshop, and I met, I think everybody knows him, Dennis Daddy. Oh, boy.
Life started again.
He had just started his program.
CSI.
He's
my mentor.
Yes, he just started CSI. And he convinced me that there's still work to do here. I sat down with Mayor Bill Bell and became a consultant for Mayor Bell. Okay, helping him with the gangs there. And I started my own business. I started Life Strategy Solutions. Okay. And we did a lot of great things. We were contracted by DPI, Department of Public Information, and we were doing gang presentations, working with families. I became, I'll just go down the line. I wanted to do more outreach. So I was recruited by Hope Community Church, and they hired me to be.
In Durham?
No, it's Hope is on Buck Jones Road.
Yes. It's
their membership was 15,000. There was a lot of membership. So they hired me to be the outreach person. And I enjoyed that, reaching into the community, doing community development. Within a year, we had a 15% increase of diverse community.
Wow.
Um, mission was accomplished. I moved from there, and I was hired to be the executive director for Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club in Durham on Austin Avenue, and did a lot of great things there. I lived there, and I became the head teacher for Heritage Smart School.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a phone call from Derek Berg asking me to come on as a case manager.
Mm-hmm.
I went on as a case manager for a year and then became the program director for
Family resources.
yes, returning citizens. But I was doing that in the rural communities of Halifax, Franklin, and Vance County.
Yes.
So I did that for like 5 years.
Yeah, that's
5 years,
Wow.
yes. And then I took another position.
Got another phone call.
Got another phone call. Well, I made the phone call this time. I made the phone call this time. And now I work for Wake County.
Right.
So Wake County Local Reentry Council.
So tell us about what is Wake County Local Reentry Council?
Well, the Reentry Council is a collaborative of people, with different organizations and shareholders and community that have community resources. We get together to talk about the barriers and solutions to returning citizens that are coming to Wake County.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to reduce recidivism. We want to stop people from going back and forth to prison. And we know the key to that is helping them get back into their families, help them get back into the job market, so they become taxpayers and become supporting a productive. Yes.
Yeah.
And as you know for yourself, there's so many pieces of that.
Yes. What we have seen a lot is, and I think you and I have talked about it several times, but family reunification.
Yes.
It is a key component to reducing recidivism.
Yeah.
It's not the only component, but it's a key component. Because if you can get men and women for that matter, all returning citizens, well, in our case, what we did with primarily men, you could get them linked back, yes, to their family, their kids. And a lot of our classes, we talk about you need to go back and repair some of the bridges that you burned while you were in your current crime, or while you were in your substance abuse. You stole from your mama, you stole from everybody, and they don't trust you now. They don't like you. So so now you got to go back and try to repair some of those bridges, and we give them some keys to do that. Because oftentimes, James, it's the holidays when you can't go home for Thanksgiving because nobody wants you there.
Yeah.
You can't go home for Christmas.
Yeah.
You're not invited to the family reunion. You're not invited to birthday parties because you've never been a Sunday school guy.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And so we give them the ways to help to repair that bridge so now they can start fixing that. And then eventually they get back invited to the family functions, which is a motivator to keep them straight. Because I want to be a part of the family. I don't want to be a black sheep of the family, if you will. Because once you all become that black sheep of the family, it's easier now to start using on Christmas morning, or Christmas afternoon, or everybody else is celebrating you in your depression. And that's the thing it's going to trigger you to go after you. So family unification is very, very important. And I'm glad that the local reentry council is really working with that. And so what are some of the services you offer back?
Well, can I just touch on what you said?
Yes, absolutely.
What I see is a combination of things. Obviously, and again, I know I'm talking to the choir. Speaking to the choir, sometimes it's timing. Sometimes men decide to do the right thing, but they don't have the words.
Yes.
They don't know how to. We was working with a young man who, well, not a young man, but maybe younger than me, but he has been separated from his family for 6 years. He didn't know how to come back. He wanted to apologize, but he didn't have the words. Sometimes we can be an advocate, and sometimes they don't see themselves as a part of the family. So sometimes we have to it's like the prodigal son. You know, prodigal son, he's imagined himself outside the house. He goes out and something happens on the inside and outside. You know, on the outside there's a famine. On the inside, he realized, I'm better than this. I belong. But he comes back. But now it's not the son, it's the father. But he don't know how to come back. So we can help the family receive him back.
Yes.
You know, but he has to decide now I want to do the right thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Because once he decides, I want to do the right thing, you know, the family will see that. And they'll be open arms to come back. And that especially happened with the overall family.
Yeah.
But his kids are just as important. Because now, dad's been in jail for 5 years. If dad is going back home, and now the father's got to kind of repair that relationship with the son of the daughter who may be feeling some kind of way about them and about being incarcerated. And we give him some cues, some tips on how to start bridging that gap between his kids. And then the first thing is to do is make a promise. A promise is two things. It is a confession that you've done something wrong, and a promise that you won't ever do it. You know, so you have to apologize for one. So when we tell the father, if you go apologize to your son or your daughter, apology have two legs.
Yeah.
First is I confess that I did something wrong. The second one is I promise that I will do that. If you don't have both of those things, you don't have an apology.
Yeah.
You just got lip service.
Yep, just live.
You know, you cuss me out today and tomorrow you say I'm sorry. That's not, no. You say I'm not going to do it again, and then tomorrow you do it again. That's not, keep that apology because it's really not an apology. You know, it's a lip service. So we tell the father, now really start to apologize and say, hey, you know, and also, you know, the mother of your kids, you done some crazy stuff to her. Apologize to her. So let her know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then again, apology is a promise and it's a confession. And when these guys start to do that, they see some kind of time the way the past is kind of problem, and they have greater access to things. And the thing is then to do the right thing.
That's right.
As you said.
And you know what I see? I see, and I'll come across this over and over again. I say, you know what? You can't make up for the past. Start right now.
Right.
Start right now because now sometimes it can backfire and people will try to keep you back.
Yes.
Try to keep you back and make you a benefactor. They become a benefactor instead of but
which is the other thing sometimes. And when we tell people, you have to have grace for that. Because a lot of people not going to believe that you should. And sometimes you have to prove it.
Yeah.
And don't get upset when they don't.
That's right.
Because you don't again, you know, you have done some stuff with your soul. You work with them on two of those levels. If they don't accept you around, reject you. And don't get married as a couple. But I think what you said initially was something's got to change inside of them.
Yeah.
It's got to be, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
I'm ready for provide the services that you guys provided for them.
And then forgiving himself. Because there's a difference I see between guilt and conviction. Conviction triggers this hope, but guilt keeps you from changing. It keeps you back. You know, and I think it's healthy for them to know the difference.
Right. And once they know this, what that is a part of them, and they can get on with the rest of their life. How can the public make a referral? If they got a family member that's, you know, either struggling with some things in their lives and got a criminal record. First of all, can the local reentry, can you be a referral to you guys without having a criminal record?
No. We exist for people who are formerly, we call it justice involved. So it could be somebody who was crossing the sidewalk, or you know, some type of justice involvement that's holding you back. Right. And they have to be in Wake County. Okay. Belong in Wake County. And working aid because we work to help them get into well-paying jobs. But we nothing against McDonald's, but we want you to be the manager.
Right.
You know, and yes,
Yes,
yes.
that's what we teach them too.
Yes, yes, and so when I talk about the council, we've had relationships with businesses who hire specifically for those that are justice involved. So a lot of times when we actually go, we have 3 case managers. We have one that work with people who are in prison, and we go in and let them know that first thing we ask them is, do they ever feel apprehensive when when you're doing a job interview? That they won't hire you. They say yes. So we fix that for them. We set them up with employees who expect them to have a record. So so one thing when people treat you different when they label you, but you act different when you label yourself.
Right.
So we have a mentorship program that helps them to see the value of themselves. Even their time inside is valuable because now they have a perspective. They help other people get out.
Mm-hmm.
So your value doesn't come from what you did. It's come from how you get out of it. We've all done things, so that's an internal and intrinsic things that we help with. So I'm excited. People. We had one guy came in. We did a video about him. He was about to commit suicide. He said he's giving up. And he has hope again because he came in one day. We got him connected to employment. He's a forklift operator. He's making $31 an hour. Wow. And he said, I was about to give up. So I love doing this because even though I was a first responder in 9/11, I still see myself in you.
A first responder. Yeah.
We can be the one that turns somebody away or bring them in.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about that. And I know you asked about the services. I can tell you some of the services we provide. First thing, like I said, we have a case manager who work with people who were in prison. We have a case manager who work with people in detention. Mm-hmm. And we have a case manager who work with people who have mental health challenges. Mm-hmm. And so when they're first getting released, if they don't have a phone, they have clothes, we can provide them with a phone. We do a needs assessment. So we find out the things they need. And then we find out, we do a risk assessment to see how risky it is for them or likely they are to recidivate. So that means that if they're very likely, we give them more support. We like to connect to their emergency contact or the person they're the closest to because that helps. Because they can help them succeed together. So now it helps them build that faith that, hey, he is changing. And, so
that's that family unification.
Unification.
That's that part that you got to help.
Yes.
Bridge that gap. That's money can't buy that.
No.
That relationship that fostered, that rekindled.
Yeah.
And people now have a faith in one another. And that's what it's all about.
And it's great to see them realize things that were in them that they didn't know were in them, but they never saw it. So we like to support that. And sometimes they're full, but we'll be there when they fall. And we're like, hey, you fell this time, but let's
get back up here. Yeah. Fall down seven, but get up eight.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And even they may have we help them with housing. Major housing. And whether it's transitional housing, they can start out transitional housing, but we help them get employment so they can pay their own way and eventually get into their own permanent housing. We have several people now in permanent house, and we have a program now that does financial planning, help them with budgets and things. So some people come from their mama's house to the jailhouse and haven't learned how to budget. Now, some people, when they see money, they see it as a thing to party, but then now they're begging for money for lights and stuff. So we had to have that shift. If you want to go in a different place, you have to change your mindset to fit those places. But then they start to see themselves change and now they start reaching out and say, well, wow, I'm getting what everybody else is getting. Right. So
but the local rehabilitation council has been very instrumental to us, Father, because we refer a lot of the guys.
Yes.
when they come out, we do, and we do talking with Mr. Williams earlier. They do the referral when they get out. They will pick you guys.
Yeah.
They choose to. Now some of them don't choose to, but and then you guys provide some awesome things that we don't have capability to provide. Phones and those kind of things. I was very limited, but you guys got resources to be able to do those things. So the 90 days that the guys are with us, we'll link them to you and then you provide that support. And we coming at the same thing, different angles.
Yes.
You telling them the same thing I'm telling them. And when these guys hear this on a regular basis, they gotta feel like somebody is careful. I know it's rough. I know it's not, but there are some people out there that care. James, I know we could talk about this until Jesus goes back. But I really, really appreciate. Man, I didn't realize that. I think I heard that you was a cop. You know, I didn't know you were working all the other stuff.
Oh man, yeah.
But you have a again, like I said, very impressive resume. Apparently, God has chosen you to do this work. You love doing this work. Yes. This is your compassion, and you have the skills to do it. I mean, you know, sometimes you can have ambition and no skill level, but you got both. You got the compassion, you got the skill level, and I'm just glad to be able to partner with you and make this happen. So,
Well, yeah, and I'll say this: it didn't come from me; it came from God, because He has to show you a little at a time.
Little at a time.
Little at a time. Well, I would have ran ahead.
Ask me how to know. Well, James, I appreciate you coming in today.
I appreciate you, your partnership, and we knew each other for years.
Yes.
And we joined at the heart.
Yes, at the heart, and we are, we continue to use the Reentry Council to help support our guys, and eventually we get this other situation thing. You guys
yes,
back.
Yeah,
it's good. I feel how this for you guys.
Yes,
Thank you so much for coming, and I'll talk to you later. Appreciate it, sir.
You're my brother. You're the same father.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that was very, I would say, inspirational.
Yes.
Very inspiring. It's good to know that we've got men out here
Yes.
setting the tone,
Yes.
setting the example,
Yes.
and doing the work.
Doing the work.
Yeah, doing the work. It was amazing.
That conversation, we could have. I mean, it had so many veins. We could have went
You
down.
could have stopped right there and gone down that street.
Yeah,
come back down and
Bill
go down
Cosby Street. We could have
another
gone.
street.
You know, his father died at a young age, and how that impacted him, and we could have done.
Yeah.
Because I've always been curious. You know, again, everybody that their fathers leave all the conflict,
Right.
People that passed away and all that.
Yes.
But the fact that he has people around him that helped him, and that's not the first time. I'm sure millions of other people have had that, but I just love to have that conversation. But and then the work that he's done with the LRC, what he's done with the crime prevention stuff that he did,
And for our viewers who don't know what LRC stands for,
Local Reentry Council. That is Wake County. I think every county. This is one of Governor Cooper's baby that he wanted to really put a whole lot of resources and returning citizens.
yes,
Justice involved citizens. And so they created this reentry council that I think all counties should supposed to have one. So I think that's the goal. Or at least the small counties, at least they have one access.
right.
And the Wake County obviously has got one, and it's a pretty good size one. Because Wake County is a big county.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to give our shout out and thanks to Mr. James Johnson.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get him back.
Yeah, we got to get him back because we got so many.
Share some more stories.
That he's got. Again, our audience, the Local Reentry Council. You can access them. Please go to Wake County, go to their web page, and you can see the services that the Local Reentry Council is offering justice served individuals for coming back from incarceration. So wow, we're in another exciting
one of those times again when we have to say until next time.
Until next time. Yeah. Until we meet again. Everybody have a good week. Be careful and be safe.
Good night.
Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, our friend. Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.afatherforever.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The Chat and Chew podcast streams Thursdays at 12 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fathers Forever University. My name is Glenn Warren, and I will be your instructor. Fathers Forever University is a remote learning experience where we take our 12-week class, and we meet here every Thursday night from 6 until 7, and we talk about fatherhood. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about where your child support money is going. We teach classes about fatherhood and how important it is to be in your child's life. So these 12 weeks is going to be very important for you guys to understand and the concept of fatherhood and what we're trying to teach you. Fathers Forever University is broken down into 12 weeks, and you can start at any time during those 12 weeks. The key to it is finishing those 12 weeks. Every lesson is in lecture format, where you listen to that lecture, and then on Thursday nights, we discuss that lecture. The Thursday night discussion is where your homework will be due. Part of your homework assignment every Thursday night is to, 1, we'll ask you the question, what did you learn? And the second question, how am I going to apply what I learned? We also have specific assignments for each lesson in the notes below. This has been an introduction into Fathers Forever University. Now let's get started in lesson 1.